It's investing in people and building internal capacities of organizations by utilizing world-known best practice in organizational development and more. We have one expert who is here live with us in our studio, Dr. Emad Hussein, international licensed advisor and trainer, EFQM Corporate Excellence. He's going to talk to us about corporate excellence and how can we make the best use of it while we do business and other stuff. Good morning, Dr. Emad.
Good morning, Doctor. And of course, as Dina mentioned, corporate excellence, it's a term that's not very commonly known among the public. I mean, at first I didn't realize what it was until I read the meaning. So if you could elaborate more on what it is exactly and what it refers to and the basic elements of corporate excellence.
Thank you for this meeting. And this is very true. The term corporate excellence is newly introduced to the area now, and it's a very simple definition. It means how organizations can work better, how organizations can meet or exceed the needs and expectations of all stakeholders. In other words, if you are offering any service or if you are producing any product, you have to ensure that this product or this service will really gain the admirations of the producers, finance, stakeholders, investors, and all people interested in this service or product. It is a way to sustain organizations, and if we have a bird's eye view on the leading organizations in the world, we will find that they implement corporate excellence in order to sustain their success.
Right. Dr. Emad, what is the difference between corporate excellence and corporate success?
Thank you. This is very important.
Although they look so similar.
Yes, you are right. Actually, corporate success, it means we are good in certain areas. Let us say if we are a satellite company, it means that we might be good in customer service, we might be successful in attracting the attention of the audience, we might be successful in branding our services, but we are not excellent in the totality of our organizations. Corporate excellence, it means that we are excellent in every single aspect of what we are doing. Let us say if we go right now to Ministry of Education, we can say that Ministry of Education in any given country is successful in empowering students, in enhancing the skills of the teachers. But when we say Ministry of Education is excellent, it means that this ministry, in terms of the teacher, student, environment, curriculum, everything related to the operation of the ministry is excellent.
Have any one of the government asked your assistance, especially in that fight, the educational fight, because I guess they're in dire need for corporate excellence in education.
Definitely agree.
You're right, absolutely all right. Actually not yet, but because for many decision makers, corporate excellence is a luxury item. They would keep saying that we need infrastructure, we need
not a
IT.
Basic need.
Yes, exactly. It is because it is something beyond the needs and expectations. But hopefully in the near future, it's a journey actually. It's a journey. We cannot say that we are excellent just because we need it. It's not what you need, but it is what you aspire. Big difference between aspiration and needs.
Well, having introduced this concept of corporate excellence, how do you think that the Egyptians, both governmental, public, and private sectors are going to benefit by taking this concept into consideration and actually implementing it?
Thank you for this question. Potentially, we are qualified. Objectively, we should be adopting this one easily into our organizations, simply for three reasons from my point of view. First of all, we have the human assets, and this is the most important enablers for any corporate excellence. We have people talented, skilled, and in order, if we really invest in this talent, they will help a lot in corporate excellence. Secondly, we have practice over these years. We have in-depth knowledge that can help us. And finally, the diversity of Egypt. With this position among the Arab world, it can be potentially a best place for corporate excellence. And if we benchmark what I'm just telling you right now with other countries like Singapore, like Malaysia, and all these countries, they manage to adopt, implement, review, and assess the concept until it becomes a lifestyle for their nations. So Egypt potentially, but as you know, if you want to lead, you have to bleed. We have to do a lot in order to adopt this one. There should be the will and the implementation, not only the will.
Tell us about the countries that implement the corporate excellence and as an integral part of their vision and their mission. How does that process work with the human resources?
Lovely. I will not go any far east or into Europe or in any places. I would just go to UAE, United Arab Emirates. They adopted this concept almost 14 or 15 years ago, especially in Dubai. And
14 years?
Yes, 14 years ago. This concept, it starts with how to implement the corporate excellence. And at that time, the governmental entities, like anywhere else, they don't have the theme of customer satisfaction, of customer exceeding, of customer delight. And when they start implementing this concept, it turns everything, because the leadership, the strategy, the people, the operation, they are all channeled into the vision and the mission of organizations, and ended up that whenever, let's say, if you go to any ministry or any organization just to get your ID, you will find a nice place, you will find smiley faces, you will measure whether you are happy about your service or not, and then they will send you a reminder message after 1 year or 2 years that your license expired and you have to report. And they are monitoring every single process and procedures of their work, because corporate excellence, it is not just to be excellent, but how to maintain this excellence to be sustainable excellence.
Which is more difficult.
It is.
How to maintain.
That's why it's a journey. It's a journey. I mean, because one definition of excellence, to improve your previous best. It means if we are sitting today in this lovely place with this nice setting, if we come here next year or the year after, there must be some modifications or improvements in order to sustain the place, hopefully.
Well, let's be realistic and look at Egypt as an example.
Yes.
I mean, we all know that here in Egypt, especially in the public sector, there is a big challenge, because usually the workers are very stuck into this bureaucratic system, and the workers have just become mere functionaries who just, they don't really have objectives or goals of improving themselves or reaching that excellent stage,
Yes.
but just getting the job done, and sometimes in the lowest level.
Yes.
So how do you see this challenge in Egypt, and with the culture known here in the workplace here in Egypt, do you really think that we could reach corporate excellence, and how can we get on the right track to get there?
The direct answer, yes. But how long it will take? Will it take 3 years or 4 years or 10 years or ages? Based on the experience of other countries like Singapore, like UAE, like Malaysia, 3 criteria determine the journey of this excellence. First, for the leadership. If the leadership really integrating, encouraging, motivating, insisting on excellence in everything, definitely the dream will come true. Secondly, the vision. If we just have a helicopter view on Egypt and we visited all the ministries and the entities and ensure that they have unified vision into excellence, they have one way into excellence, definitely it will come. The third factor, strategy. If we keep doing what we are doing, we'll keep getting what we are getting. Having a strategy with phases, phase 1, phase 2, with timeline, with smart objectives, I mean specific, measurable, attainable, and time frame. If we really have the leadership, the vision, and the strategy, these 3 factors are crucial and very fundamental in order to achieve the excellence. And that's what happened in UAE. In UAE, simply the leaders, especially in Dubai 14 years ago, all the decision makers got a message: change or you'll be changed. And now, after 14 years, they did a lot into corporate excellence. Of course, we can say that the financial factor is very important, because you cannot finance projects without having enough fund. But again, when you have the will, you will have the way. Leadership, it's very important that leaders adopt this one. And by leadership, I don't mean the head of state or the president, but every single leader in his place should convince that corporate excellence is not just a luxury item, but it is a need.
Right, Dr. Emad, also that sounds very positive, but if we look at the mere realities, what works for one country as an experience wouldn't work for another. And because of the cultural background, so let's not put the blame only on the leadership. If we take a quick browse over the governmental sectors, for example, the offices, how do they bring about services to the citizens? That would need or require a complete makeover. So where would you point out the spots that really need that program of corporate excellence, and what type of program would you suggest for a country like Egypt? Where would you start?
I mean, it seems like we'd have to start from scratch.
Yes.
Annihilate.
I mean, would you start with the health file? I mean, health services, educational services, the national services in general. Where would you start? Where do you think that it really should come to a rescue to one sector of this government?
This is really a very important question. I would answer very simply. If I feel I am ill, I'm tired, and I go to any doctor, he will ask me about MRI, about something of diagnostic. If he found that I'm suffering from something very dangerous in my life, he will start with this one. So back to the macro level in Egypt, we have education, we have health, we have a lot of things.
What do you think is fatal?
I cannot decide the fatal right now without self-assessment. If there is a self-assessment for the entire country, I mean from helicopter view, from holistic view, and then we can decide, because why corporate excellence fails? It fails simply if we start on areas that's not fatal, that's not important. So after all the other countries, UAE, Singapore, Malaysia, and 2 weeks ago I was in Spain, and we have been visiting one of the entities there doing benchmarking. The first step to do the self-assessment, because without self-assessment you cannot start. Self-assessment will give you your strengthening points. Self-assessment will show you the areas of improvement. Self-assessment will show the opportunities.